Hey, what's going on, everybody? We're out in the garage again, our high-speed setup. This time, hopefully the camera works. No technical difficulties today.
Yeah, that'd be nice. We think we got it all ironed out.
And if not, there'll always be another try. But what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about something that is one of my top things, cigars. And the cigar club that I belong to, we're going to do an unboxing and going to answer some questions all about the club. So, let's go. So we're going to go ahead and open it up. We're going to light up the cigar. I got a coffee. He's got tea.
I have some sweet tea, southern sweet tea.
Gross. Not a sweet tea guy. One of the few things I'm not. But, yeah.
Now let's start with how did you hear about the name of the club and how did you hear about it?
All right. So we'll go back to the year of COVID, 2020. So when I was working I still work overseas, but when I was working over there, we every time we came back from leave, we would have to have a 2-week quarantine where we were locked in a room. We were not allowed to leave. We weren't allowed to do anything at all. We just had to stay in the room. Somebody brought us food. We couldn't leave, couldn't go for a walk, couldn't do anything. It was miserable. As miserable as you could think. So I started watching a lot of YouTube. And one of the people I started watching a lot of is someone who you watched a lot of, is Jeremy Sayers. And Jeremy is a big fan of Privada Cigar Club. And one of the videos I was watching, he was unboxing it and he was showing the club. And so there's several memberships, but he had the old school rare cigar club. And I was like, you know what? I want to try it. But I wasn't sure about the cigars themselves, so instead of the club that I'm in now, I went ahead with the Farm Rolled Club. The Farm Rolled is a club that has unbanded cigars from different factories down south where they roll the cigars. And those are one of the greatest deals in cigars. They come with 4 in a pack, and they were $20. So I got a whole bunch of those and created a big stockpile and realized I wanted the rare club. So I went ahead and joined, and then from there I had the farm rolled one sent to me in Iraq, and I had the regular club sent here at home. So I've amassed quite a collection of them. But it was 100% through Jeremy Sayers on YouTube.
All right. Well, I guess a couple other questions. How much does a club like this run? Like, what is the average cost of such a thing?
Well, so many clubs are different. It depends kind of like what the clubs are doing. So Privada has a club where it's a general club. So what they do is they have a whole bunch of different clubs. You have the farm rolled, you have the old school rare, this one that I have. Then you have what's called Brian's Box. Brian's Box is the traditional, he takes cigars that he's smoking that month, that takes out of normal brands, and puts them in a box and sends them to people, usually at a pretty good discount. They comes 4 or 5 cigars in that box. The Farm Rolled, like I said, comes 4 cigars for $20. Flat rate, I think all of them are flat rate $5.95 or something for shipping on them. The rare club, I think now is up to $27.99. You get 3 cigars per pack, but it's not always open. You got to wait to see when the club's open so you can join to get this, because they only get X number of cigars, and they have to make sure that each member gets the cigars. Plus, usually have a couple over.
How often do you get a box?
Monthly. It's every month. Like I said, this is January's box, and so it's just every month. And for Privada, it's shipped out on the day you first register. So let's say you register on February 15th. Every month it'll ship out on February 15th. They will charge you on the 15th and send it out on the 15th. They're really pretty good at shipping.
All right. So you get 1 box every month on your anniversary date.
Yep.
And how many cigars is a box? Is it consistently the same amount, or does it fluctuate from month to month?
So with the old school club, the one that I belong to, there's 3 every month. The farm rolled, it's 4 every month. And Brian's box is usually 4 to 5, sometimes more, but it doesn't change the price of the box. I don't know how he does the prices on it. He's got so many other things. He's got even a club for additions to the clubs where you can do like tasting notes, and that's something that I'm really hoping to get into. I want to improve my palate so that I can taste the flavors, and it comes with a card where you can go through and you can rate it and describe it. And some of those cigars end up in the club later. So it's definitely something I need to get my palate better to be able to do that. I can add some of those on and become a person involved in the process of actually choosing which cigars are in the club.
I see that they send you little cards, looks like for each cigar, I'm guessing.
Yeah, so...
And do they give like the flavor profile, what you should expect, where they're rolled, where they're...
Yeah, in fact, I'll go through that right now. So each box comes with this Boveda little humidor, and it's like a pressed seal, and it's actually really, really good. And it comes with a 69% Boveda pack. I've never, in my 4 years of being a member of this club, have had a Boveda pack that was not fully saturated. They're great. Brian tells stories about how they found boxes that are 6, 7 years old sitting in a trunk of a car, and the Boveda pack's still good. So it's pretty amazing. So what they do now, before they used to send out sheets, like papers, print-out papers with all the information on it. But what they do now is they send you the cigars, and they send you these little postcards. And on the front, it's a postcard of each cigar. And it has a little description. It says what the name of the cigar is, where they're rolled, and their size. Then it goes through and tells a little bit of a story about how they went about getting it, where it's from, the tobacco, who was involved in it, what rollers, what blenders, those sorts of things, trying to figure out the leaves and figure out the binders and wrappers and things like that. Then on the back, it does the full breakdown. It tells you what the wrapper is, what the binder, the fillers, how old they are. It tells you kind of what to expect from the flavors of like the body, foot, cold draw. And then it goes through, Brian smokes them, and he goes through his entire tasting, what it tastes like, how it tastes, the quality, and goes through and explains everything about that in painstaking detail. Then it goes through the pairing notes, like what should you drink, what should you eat with it, what he suggests. And I have found his pairing notes are exceptional. I know that it seems like I'm truly a fanboy, and truth be told, I am. I've never had a cigar from Privada that I don't like. So you could say I am a fanboy because I love them. And then for me, a lot of people do it. A lot of people collect these, and because I get multiple packs in each box, I take 2 of the postcards and I have a photo album, and I put it in so that one side is the cigar and the other side is the pairing notes. So when it's time to smoke it, I can flip through and I can have the book. We'll have to feature that in the future, future thing. But just to break it down, I get 5 of the monthly rare boxes. There are people who get more. There are people who get less. Don't go out of your way to break yourself to get these. But if you get a box or 2, it's great. But what I do is I take 2. So I'll take a total of 6 cigars, 2 packs, and I'll put them in my humidor as smoke now. Those are the ones I can smoke now. One of them goes into a box that I bring back to Iraq with me so I can smoke it there. The other 2 I add to my retirement box. So those are going to be ones that I save for years that I'm not going to touch or smoke.
So that box has a bunch of packs in it,
Yep.
5 of them, right?
5 total.
But they're all the same.
All the same.
So it's 3 cigar flavors.
Yes, 3 cigars
Times 5.
Times 5, so 15.
50.
And it's like I said, the boxes are about 100 or about $27, so it's about 150 that I spend a month on the cigars.
It's not too bad.
No.
It's reasonable price. Do they? Go ahead.
I just wish I had more time to smoke them.
Yeah. Well, retirement's coming one of these years, hopefully.
Before you go, I also want to show, every once in a while, they have a little gift. this month, it's matches.
Oh, cigar matches.
So they're long stick matches with different colors. And I thought that's just a great little thing that he included into it. Because there are people who complain in the club, like they have a Facebook group, a very, very popular Facebook group, lots of interaction. I'm on there all the time talking to people, meeting people, forming little friendships, relationships. There's people with small businesses in there that we talk to and just get along with. Great community. If you know anything about Privada, you know their community is ferocious and they defend Privada a lot. But a lot of people complain that there's not enough free stuff. You know, like they complain like there's no stickers or there's no this. 2 years ago, they gave away a freaking car.
No.
They had a competition where they smoked a cigar. It was a Lancero, and they called it the Long Ash competition. And whoever could smoke it live and have the longest ash won a Dodge Charger, like a car.
That's cool.
So yeah, they might not give you stickers, but who else is giving away a freaking car?
Well, are you a member of the club for the car or for the cigars?
Exactly. And stickers. People
free things are
complain
great,
about
but-
stickers.
Yeah. Now, do these cigars come from well-known and established cigar companies, or is it more of a
So
startups or mom and pops or?
So this is the interesting part about Privada. So Privada is a craft cigar, just idea. So instead of dealing with, like, let's say Padrones or Padermos or Davidoff, instead of worrying about the company who's buying the cigars getting rolled, the company really, or Privada really goes into who is blending them and the factories that are rolling them. So like, let's see. Like this one is from Tabacos de Costa Rica. I don't remember any from there. Tabacalera, that's a big one, and La Zona. So those are all like those are all factories down in South America where the cigars are made. Now, when you read into these, I'd have to read into them. I haven't read into these yet, but he works with blenders. He works with blenders from craft blenders. So some of them previously worked at big factories or big companies and stuff like that. Some of them are just starting up, more of a limited edition type cigars. So I mean, like one guy who does a lot with Privada is AJ Fernandez. AJ Fernandez is a blender who's blown up in the cigar industry, especially in the past few years. He has his own major line now. Great guy. Another guy that I really like is Paul Stulak as a blender. His cigars are phenomenal. When I first signed up for Privada for the farm rolled, Paul Stulak did a takeover of the farm rolled and made his own cigars, and they were phenomenal. But it's more about the blenders and about the people who actually roll them, the farmers, the people who Brian takes an interest like in all that and gives us so much information about the factories and the blenders and the growers. He even did like a video, like a kind of like a movie, a documentary, where they went down to South America and recorded the whole process from farming to rolling to the cigar that we got a couple months later. So it's not like, but if you do research and you go into the factories that these cigars come from, you learn quickly that those factories are also the same ones rolling Padermo cigars or Padrones, or all the big names have cigars made at all these factories. So while they don't have a label on them that says Davidoff or Padrone, it's all the same tobacco, it's all the same factories, it's just blended in smaller amounts. So there's a couple cigars that I've had where I was like, this reminds me of a cigar I've had before, but I can't tell you exactly which one. However, they're at least, they might not have the same labels, but they're at least the same quality, if not better.
Now, I mean, you think they compare every bit as much to the major brands that are popular and that are well known for being excellent?
I'm a fan of Padermo. I like Padrones. I haven't had a Davidoff before, but when because my cigar journey started, when my sister died years ago. It was the first cigar I've ever had. And I was like, okay, I like cigars, so I bought some Perdomo. I smoked those, and I'm like, I really like these. Let's expand. And when I started expanding, I was like, all right, these are good, but it's more of the craft. I'm big into like the craft stuff and the stuff that you get that who small businesses almost. Like the smaller, tighter groups. I'm always like more into that, but they what I forgot what your question was. I went off the deep end there.
The last thing we spoke about was how they compare to the more popular major brands.
So they are at least comparable. I mean, some of them, there have been cigars that I've gotten that were freaking phenomenal. Like I know one that we're going to talk about a little bit later was the infamous Cookie Monster, and the half cookie. Now they also have cigars now that you can buy in a pack that are like, they call them cookie dough. They're just smaller. And
that brings me to my second question. I noticed the names, and I've noticed them when you brought them over and showed them and posted them on Instagram and stuff. They all have a lot of there's a lot more weird names or off the wall names that you don't see on regular cigars. You know, they go with a little bit more traditional binders and names. But these are, some like Thor and like you said, Cookie Monster and some of the others. Do the names have anything? Is there a story behind them? Do some of them affect the way it's flavored, or a note that you're supposed to get out of it, or are they just random names for humor's sake?
So Brian he talks about it all the time. He's like a millennial nostalgia kind of guy, where he likes to bring up stuff that brings up nostalgia from like the 80s and 90s and bring us back there. And the labels are something that has gotten Privada to the role of like notorious in the cigar industry, because some people say they're childish. Some people, and there was a group of people who were saying to the FDA that it's like trying to target children, which it's a luxury cigar. These cigars are not cheap, and they're not aimed towards children. It's aimed for people my age who get nostalgia over things. But
not too many kids I know dropping $150 on some cigars
every month. Yeah,
or usually they're going and buying what's handy and available out of a machine or at
Black
a
and
convenience store.
Swisher Sweets and stuff like that.
Let's say you. Well, go ahead.
Yeah. So to get back to the actual question, I kind of think that at sometimes Brian is trolling people, because like one that I smoked in a previous video, the Not Tony. It was a Tiger, and he called it Tony, and it was supposed to go out to stores, which is something we're going to talk about here in a minute too. But instead of doing that, he released it to the club because he got a cease and desist, and so that way he wasn't selling them; he was giving them to club members.
Gotcha.
So it seems like he's almost trying to troll the industry at some points, but it has nothing to do reflecting the flavor. I mean, some people will sit here and say, "Oh, I can pick out chocolate morsels in this," or I'm at the point where once in a while I'll be like, "Okay, it's chocolatey," or it's coffee, but it's mainly just the theatrics of a cool band. But at the same time, you look at the farm rolled cigars. The farm rolled cigars are cigars that he's getting in bulk, that are from the same places you're getting all the big name brands for, but they have no label on them. So because they have no label on them, you're smoking a $20 cigar, but there's no label. So because there's no label, you're only paying $5. And I've smoked some spectacular cigars from the farm roll. I still have a whole bunch in my collection, but it's just a label, And there have been some killer ones, like I said, the Cookie Monster, the Red Laugh, which was, I guess, like Elmo, the Big Snuff, which is a brown wrapper, going the whole Sesame Street route. And I mean, sometimes it gets to the point where you're kind of like, come on, you're pushing it a little bit with some of this stuff. But he's up for it. He likes it. It does get attention, and publicity, even bad publicity, is publicity.
Now, when you get a box, do you pick out the 3 or however many cigars you're getting in the box? Do you pick them out, or he just sends you whatever you get that month? It just happens to be whatever they're sending.
Whatever he sends that month is what you're getting, and it goes like these boxes. The rare cigars are set up, in some cases, a year in advance. He stores them in big coolers in Orlando in a warehouse filled with Boveda, so they're aging, but they're in perfect condition. And even like I don't know, can't remember the name of it, but it's a little thing you stick in the foot of a cigar, and it tells you what the moisture is, like the humidity in the cigar. I haven't done it myself, but I've seen people do it right out of a box and it's perfect humidity. But me, because I don't smoke all my cigars right at once, and I know some people will get a box of like 5 like me and smoke them in a month or a couple weeks, I save mine. I don't smoke mine as often. This is a cigar from the club. It's the El Diablo from November 2022. So, it's just, I save mine. I'm a collector as much as I am a smoker. Sometimes I collect more than I smoke, which is something I can't wait to start doing more. But you don't pick them. Like I said, the same with the farm roll, the same with Brian's boxes. Whatever he's going to be smoking that month, he just throws a box together. And test blends. And he also has one called Damage. So it's like ones with minor imperfections, maybe like a rip in the wrapper or something like that, which is usually easily fixed, but he's not going to put it in a box because it's not perfect.
I've had one. You brought him over one night and we all kind of sitting around having cigars, and I tried one. And no doubt it was a nice cigar. It was a good smoke. But here's my question. All right, so if I stumble across one on a review or in an advertisement, or I just happen to be looking up cigars and I just stumble across it, and I go, oh, I want to try that. I look it up and read about it, and I go to the cigar shop and I hunt it down, find out who's got it, and I purchase it, and I bring it home, and I love it. Then I can go back and get a box, 3 more, whatever I want. Can you do the same with, let's say you tried this cigar and you're like, that is absolute perfection. Can you call them and say, can I get a box? Can I get 3 more?
Well,
is that a thing?
So what they do is sometimes when they have extra, they don't always have extra, and when they do, it's not always a lot. But a lot of people who, like, it doesn't affect me because, like I said, I don't smoke my cigars right away. I have such a backlog. So if I smoke a cigar and say, dang, that's one of the best cigars I've ever had, and I go look in the clubs, sometimes they're selling them, sometimes they're not. So they also have a shop where you can buy name brand cigars, you can buy a whole bunch of stuff. And they have a section called Rare, which is from the box. And you can buy whatever extra ones they have. Maybe not a whole box. And their customer service is amazing. I have had cigars that I absolutely love, and I've sent emails in and I'm like, hey, can you help me out? And there's a guy there, Darby, who is, I don't know how he does it, but you send him an email and he sends you an email back 5 minutes later with exactly what you want. And he's like, I got you, we'll add it onto your box. But they will have some in the store, like a cigar, like let's say you love the Thor. And you're like, damn, that was a good cigar, I want more. And you go to the store and you're like, okay, I'm gonna buy it. Problem is, the whole box, one box is $27.99. Like, some of the cigars are like $25, $30. He sells them in the store for that because, like, there's one. I can't remember her name. Maria de la Silva, I think is what her name was. Her cigar was like $35. So it was in the club. The club price never changes. But if you wanted to buy it after, you're buying one for more than the entire box.
Okay.
But to be honest with you,
it's kind of nice that you at least can have the option to try to find it.
Oh,
Look,
yeah.
I get that there's some people out there that the thrill of trying something new every time is actually more of a draw to them than smoking something a whole box at a time that they love. Because I've met guys who smoke the same cigar every day, every time. That's all they ever buy. That's all they ever smoke. Some be good cigars, some just cheap cigars, just whatever they like. And there's not one wrong way to do it. I mean, if you enjoy it, smoke whatever it is you enjoy, whatever way you want. I'm more of a hands-on. I like to find it, stumble upon it, go to the store and seek it out and find out who's got it. A little more of that adventure side of it. So I've never really joined one of the clubs. Plus, I'm afraid with my lifestyle and my busyness that I might get so busy that I can't touch into them for a while. And that's a lot to have sitting. And I'm like, man, what if something goes wrong and your humidor goes down? You've got 3 to 4 to 500 cigars just sitting in there. I haven't been able to wrap my head around the loss value idea. Now, I know that you can get insurance on some of that stuff.
Some of it, but it's cigar.
I know you can on whiskey. I'm not 100% sure what you can get on cigars. It probably depends on the price of the investment.
There's a great story about a guy who had a collection of very expensive cigars, and he smoked them, and he claimed fire damage from the insurance.
Well,
and because the insurance did cover fire damage, even though he smoked them, the insurance had to pay it.
that's a shitty thing.
Yeah, it is.
But,
I would never do that. He's right though. So like, I'm going through some issues right now at my house with the air conditioning. That could be a whole show of its own. But my house has always been hot. It's always running a little bit warmer than I like. So for the cigars, you want them under, usually just under 70 degrees, and then under 70% humidity so that it doesn't grow mold and it stays fresher. So I store mine in Tupperware. And Tupperware boxes about yay big. One day I'll bring them on the show and go through them. But storing them because, okay, so now they're airtight and they can keep the humidity. I keep them usually about 65 for my short-term storage and 62% for long-term. Because we live in Florida. As soon as you open the box, humidity comes in and it's going to work to soaking it back out. But I was worried about temperature because my house is over 70 degrees, and over 70 degrees breeds mold. So I went and I bought a wine chiller, a wine fridge. And I'm like, perfect. It doesn't keep it too cold because the refrigerator's too cold, but it keeps it chilled. So I got it, and that's when I started collecting the cigars, and I started putting them away. And then that son of a bitch filled up quick. So I had to go on Facebook and get another one.
Well, what is your collection? What do you have? You're probably pushing over 500 cigars by now, I would think. Or
So
somewhere close.
So the main cigars, so the cigars I collect in my retirement collection are Privada Cigar Clubs and another brand called Ezra Zion. Huge fan of Ezra Zion. Their cigars are good, but they taste a little young. You know, it's kind of like when you eat something or drink something and you taste it, and you could taste each individual thing. So it's like, okay, I taste the salt, I taste the pepper, I taste the meat, and I taste the cheese all separately. It shows that the flavors haven't melded yet. And that's kind of what I get with a lot of Ezra Zion. But the longer it ages, the more that melds and they become great. So my retirement collection alone, just my retirement collection is probably close to 500. Altogether, man, I bet I'm closing in on 1,000.
See, I'm running around 20. I don't try to get below 20, and I can go up. I have 2 boxes. They're not very big. I forget the actual count on them. One probably holds about 20.
I think one's 20, and I think
And the other one's about
50.
15 or maybe, 50.
So it might be
Somewhere.
50 and 20. I think.
Something like that. And I never have them quite full, but they're pretty close most of the time. Right now I'm running a little low. I got to get back to we've been so busy with everything else. I haven't been to the cigar shop in a while.
Yeah. So like, one of the reasons why I need to start bringing some over to you, especially like the farm rolled. So like when you have like a day where you're cleaning the bike or doing something like that, you can just have a cigar to smoke on that's not expensive, so you don't need to worry about it.
We don't finish it. I never worry anyway. I mean,
none of us do.
To me, a cigar, no matter what the cost of it is, well, unless you get maybe crazy prices, is I smoke as much as I want of it all the way to the end. Maybe even start a second one. I maybe don't finish it. It's whatever I get my enjoyment out of, because I treat my whiskey collection and my cigar collection in the same way. It's there to make my life better, to be a relaxation and just a way to make my life better. So as long as I'm drinking it the way I enjoy it, and I'm smoking it the way I enjoy it, and the stuff I enjoy, I don't really care what all the people that may be a little more snobby or a little bit more, oh, you can only do this. That's not my thing. The only thing I'm kind of that way about is Harleys. I believe they'd be the best bike on the road. Although I've ridden many others and they're awesome, and I am definitely not a Harley snob. I ride with anybody that rides anything. All my nephews still have sport bikes. That's the world I came from originally, and half the people I know still ride them, and they still ride with me. And I'm the slow guy in the group, and they buzz ahead and wait for me to catch up, and I'm okay with it. And it's all about the fun and the ride and the fellowship.
Camaraderie. That's one thing that Privada does really well when you're talking about the camaraderie part. I've never seen a group that is so together. Like, they have the Facebook group, it's tens of thousands large. Every post gets comments. I mean, like, we're going to be doing a video at some point of another guy in the group who's making sipping sodas that are made to go along with cigars.
Yeah, we'll be doing that in a future show, and he found out about that
through
by
the club.
being on the club. And yeah, I mean, there's, because of the Facebook and the club itself and the camaraderie, there's stuff you find out that you can adventure into later on and down the road. It's no doubt that you're a fan.
Yeah.
Of the club and of getting cigars. So let's just do the kid thing we did, all did growing up. If you could only get cigars one way, either from a store or from a club, forever, which way would you prefer?
So it's different for me, especially right now. Because I work in Iraq for scheduled three months at a time and then home for one, it's easier and more beneficial for me to be in a group, something like this, where I get them every month. Because now, when I come home, first of all, who doesn't love opening boxes? Who doesn't love getting a package from Amazon or Privada and opening up? It's your own little gift.
Sometimes I'll just go on Amazon and buy stickers just so I get something coming in the mail.
Something. So I come home after 3 months and I get 3 boxes that I get to open, and that's freaking awesome. I open them, I look at them, I look at the cards, I put them in the photo album, then I write so I know what all of them are. I always write the month and the year that I get the cigars, so I know. And then I set, although my humidor is totally jacked up right now, I end up making it so that the newer ones go on the bottom and the younger ones come on top, and that's what I'm going to start doing for my Smoke Now collect part. The aging ones I don't care about. The ones for the retirement collection, I don't care. I'm not opening those for years, so it really doesn't matter. But if I were to say with my life right now, getting them in the mail. However, Privada also has the LCA, and we've hunted some of those down before. The LCA came around like COVID time, called Limited Cigar Association, when Privada joined up with a whole bunch of like brick and mortar shops, and they were like, let's try to get our people to also go into shops. So they got shops around the country to pick up what they're calling the LCA and the LCA Plus cigars. Every month there's 2, usually 2, sometimes 3, that they send to these shops, and you go into the LCA shops and you can buy them. You can't do it any other way. In fact, last year, which we went down and we did some of it last year, they did the Mask series, where he released cigars with different labels in different areas of the country. So people went to the LCA club. Let's say I go to the LCA club and I get one with a blue mask. Well, somebody in Arizona might have the red mask but can't get the blue one. So we would talk in the club, and we would talk on Discord, and we would send to each other. Okay. And so they had the whole collection, 12 cigars. And when you got the whole collection, the first 2 people got to go and visit the Privada factory or the Privada warehouse and stuff. And they had boxes you could buy and fill it up. It was really cool. Always something to get the people into it. But
anything else you want to add before we wrap up for the day?
Definitely try it out. I love it. I'm a huge fanboy. I don't care. Smoke your cigars. Don't be like me. Don't collect until you get thousands of them. Smoke them and enjoy them when you can. Yeah, that's pretty much about it about Privada.
All right, man.
Hope if you guys have any questions, if you're listening and you're like, hey, I want to know X or Y, hit us in the comments below. We'll answer them. One day we'll do maybe a Q&A show, break it down. But We'll respond to the comments. Check out our Facebook group. We'll definitely respond to anything on there very quickly. We have it up on our phones all the time. Yeah, just hit us up with questions, interact, and we will interact back.
Everybody have a great day. We'll catch you on the next one.
Take it easy, everybody.